We start our course with the first stage, which is developing raw files. The files captured by the camera that contain all the information captured while taking the photo. This includes information about shadows, highlights, colors, details, and more. For this purpose, we use one of several available software specifically designed for developing raw files. My choice is definitely Capture One. It also seems to be kind of industry standard at the moment, mainly because the photos are already well saturated with beautifully rendered colors and nice contrast. Whereas in programs like Lightroom or Camera Raw from Photoshop, the photos are slightly faded and more subdued from the beginning. Hence this choice, but the developing tools in all these programs will be very similar. So all the information I provide here can be applied to other programs you have on your computer. The goal of this stage is essentially to extract all the necessary details and specifics that will be needed for working on this photo in Photoshop. We will address overly dark shadows, such as in the area of the hair, where some details have been lost in the shadow. Sometimes the photo is overexposed with overly strong highlights, so we can also recover those highlights at this initial stage. I don't really perform complicated edits or selective changes here. Instead, I set the global settings of the photo to establish a good foundation for further work in Photoshop. I aim to direct the photo towards a neutral state in terms of colors and temperature to have all the necessary details for further editing. I will also show you the main panels I use for developing photos at this stage. There won't be many, it will be just the exposure panel, where we adjust brightness, contrast, saturation. These are all global settings. We work with the temperature of the photo, which is the white balance, determining whether the photo leans towards cool or warm tones. In the HDR panel, which deals with high dynamic range, we work on recovering highlights if needed, brightening shadows, and extracting information from them. Sometimes there may be a need to work on colors at this stage, but I think we won't be doing that for this particular photo. There are some redness on the skin, as you can see, but we can easily address that in Photoshop, where it's more convenient to select specific elements of the photo and edit them. It is possible at this stage, but I believe it's not necessary. We are primarily establishing a base, and any selective edits will be done in Photoshop.